Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Texans Unfiltered, a Houston football podcast for your Houston Texans. Wondering if I should change that name, um, really change some things that we're doing, but not sure why I said that out loud. I just was thinking about it. It is Friday. What a great day. Today is, for me, every Friday at 1 o'clock is golf day. Super stoked to go with the boys and hit the links. Um, it's Friday. It's a 3-day weekend for those that work for progressive companies that give off Martin Luther King Day, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just a great day. Weather's great. Everything's great. Life is great, right? So here we are again. Yo, what up, TJ? Gonna fourth consecutive day of streaming, which is wild. I never realized that how bad my list was until I actually listened back to my recordings. Kind of crazy how I've gone 38 years not realizing how bad it actually is until yesterday. So whatever, you guys are gonna have to deal with it. Cool. So some big news in Texans world. As yesterday, the Houston Texans invited the local media to NRG to get a sneak peek into where they're at with their new designs on their Texans, on the new Texans uniforms. I gave you guys all the information 2 weeks ago on Twitter that this was a 2024 reveal. It's funny now how the media is actually releasing all that information. But this is a long process. It's going to take some time. I don't know what to think about what the media is saying about the uniforms, because I believe that the Texans wanted them to come look and then come back out and on their platforms really promote it, talk great about it, and push that this is happening. So I would assume that these are going to be great, though. And the main reason is they're working specifically with Nike on this design, which is, if you're going to work with anybody on branding, you're going to work with anybody on color schemes. I don't know if there's a better company to work with than Nike. Obviously, I am a sneakerhead, so maybe I'm a little biased, but it's pretty awesome to see that they're working specifically with a Nike designer on coming up with the new color schemes for the 2024 Houston Texans uniforms. So it's going to be exciting to see what they are. I don't expect the baby blue Oilers theme. There might be some hints of it. Maybe it'll be that blue, that light blue, and that red with the H. Maybe that'll be the color scheme. Maybe that H will be the lettering. It really seemed to get people going, considering the fact that where we were in the season, not a ton of reasons to be optimistic or happy to be a Texans fan. But that was one of the things they did do this year that people really bought into and were huge fans of. So pretty cool to see what's going on with the jerseys. I'm so glad that that they're doing something like this. There was a statement put out, or somebody took it. I think it was Mark Berman who put it out, that the Texans organization is really into this new phase of Cal McNair, and that they're really looking to take what was there and evolve it into something else, and really be like this new Houston Texans, right? That it looks like that's the goal. The whole goal now is forget the past. Yeah, we made mistakes. You even heard Nick mention some of the, not specific mistakes, but kind of what the situation was when he got here, and what the organization has been through over the last 3 years. And now Hannah is doing everything in her power to really rebrand and move forward. Kind of dope. These are things that, have needed to be done for quite a while. And yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how these things look, because look, red, white, and blue is cool. I don't, that's not really like my shtick, but it's very Texas. I really hope they go in a whole nother direction. I've said from the beginning, I really hope this is an aggressive evolution of the Houston Texans. I'd be open to a name change. Um, Even though I've heard that there's, that's likely not going to happen. It should, but it likely won't. Um, but yeah, this is exciting. It's funny to think that the most exciting thing over the last 3 years for the Houston Texans is a uniform change and colors. Like, really puts things into perspective with where this team has been over the last 3 years and what we've been through as fans. To like think that a uniform change, a color change, schemes, things of that nature, maybe a revamped logo. I don't see that, but possibly that is enough to excite us. Like, as if we haven't been through enough. Franchise quarterback quits, sexual allegations like crazy. Bill O'Brien takes the whole organization to the woodshed. Nick Casario takes over and has nothing to do, like nothing that to help him rebuild. Um, Jack Easterby, the meddling preacher, two head coaches, and like there's just so many things that have happened. Um, it's honestly a book, it's a movie. I really hope that there's a 30 for 30, and like the best way for this 30 for 30 to end is with the Texans getting it right and winning a Super Bowl, be the cherry on top for sure. But just wild to think about how excited people are for a uniform change. Jonathan Bean, what do you think they should change the name to? Honestly, I love the Houston Apollos. You have the Rockets, you have the Astros. I know that's kind of like a cop out because that's like seems to be the most you know mentioned new name. Um, Texans just don't move the needle, right? Like if you think of a marketing perspective, if you think about it globally, or you think about it, let's just think about it nationally. If you're in New York, and I don't know, it's just weird, right? Like you're not there's not a lot you can do with that from a marketing perspective. And I would assume that marketing team has an idea of what that's true. Like there's limitations for them from a marketing perspective because they are the Houston Texans. Like hopefully, I don't believe they will, but hopefully they have that conversation. Houston Apollos would be awesome. So many different things they can do. NASA themed jerseys would go crazy. They really would, right? Like the Space City jerseys for the Rockets. I'm a fan. What the Astros have done over the last couple of years from a jersey perspective. Like there's a lot of opportunity, and it'd be dope to really kind of bring those three organizations together, and have like some sort of theme. So we'll see. I doubt it. No reason to believe that would be the case or that would happen. But hey, look, at the end of the day, they're doing something new. They're doing something that they haven't done in the past, and I applaud it. This is one of those situations where Hannah is doing the right thing. And honestly, the other day I was talking about Hannah and where things are at and how she's taking over. The truth of the matter is, Hannah could get things right. She could have laid into Nick and really set a fire inside him to figure this out. Um, and if they do hire the right coach, hopefully she just listens to what Nick wants to do with the head coach. If it really is this group collaboration that Nick is talking about, um, let's hope that that's true. That it is a group collaboration and it's a group decision, and everybody kind of has some input, and that Nick's opinion is taken into consideration a little bit more than others. Um, so if I said is the hiring process screwed up already? I don't know. Maybe I was a bit exaggerative. It's kind of shocking to hear about some of those things. And Paul Gallant on his show on 97.5 ESPN referenced Hannah, and what happened at the press conference. I guess Nick was asked a question. Hannah turned around and said, "I can answer that." Nick went ahead and answered it, and Hannah goes, "That's exactly what I was going to say." So there's definitely more involvement. There's definitely more things happening with Hannah. But you know what? The fact that she did cold shoulder Deshaun Watson, she gets a plus for me so far. Um, uh, we'll see how things go. I just don't. I am not a big fan of a meddling owner. I just don't think it. it creates controversy internally that's not going to lead to the path that we all want to be on. But um, got to give her the opportunity first to show that she's doing things right or wrong before we can judge her. Chuang Fung, DAmico Ryan's interview yet? No, not yet. What's up, buddy? Joseph, I wouldn't be down for a name change. Uniforms, yes, just not the name. Yeah, it's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just think the Houston Texans is just kind of like, I don't know, really ain't moving the needle for me. Russell Red, bro, who do you feel gets the most blame for the Texans' downfall? Don't really hear Bill O'Brien's name a lot. Well, I mean, it's kind of a tricky question because if Cal would have fired Bill O'Brien after the Chiefs game in the divisional round, we wouldn't be in this situation. You were up 24-0, and you got destroyed. You scored 7 points in the remaining 3 quarters. Defense didn't do anything. Offense scored 1 touchdown in 3 quarters. So I think Cal's got to kind of take that one on the chin. Because had we had started then, who knows, right? Like, who knows? There's so many hypotheticals. Who knows if Deshaun would have wanted to be traded? Who knows, if DeAndre would have been traded for a 2nd-round pick? Who knows how far Jack Easterby would have gone, within the organization? There's just so many moving pieces. But at the end of the day, Cal is the one that makes the decision. So not firing Bill O'Brien after the Chiefs game is forever going to be the one thing that could have impacted this franchise in a positive way over the last 3.5 years or however long it's been since that game. And he chose not to, right? He chose to double down and give him even more power. I don't think so Bill O'Brien, yes, for the decisions he made, for sure, played a part. But Cal allowed that. And ultimately, it stops with the owner and starts with the owner. And the owner allowed for Bill O'Brien to be where he was to make those decisions. That's on Cal. So that's the way I look at it. All right. Houston Texans also have requested an interview with Thomas Brown of the Los Angeles Rams. Thomas Brown is the assistant head coach for the Rams, reporting to Sean McVay, obviously. Was the running backs coach there, was a player so he's assistant coach and tight ends coach now. He was a player in the NFL, was drafted in the 6th round in Atlanta, rookie year. Something happened with his collar, he got horse collared, and he was injured and never got to play again. Kind of hopped around, been at Georgia, been at a couple different colleges, came to Los Angeles in 2019. Tom Pelissero tweeted out yesterday a video of Thomas Brown in an interview he did with him a couple months ago. Hard not to like that guy. Extremely hard not to like that guy. Everybody talks about DAmico. This guy seems just as rah-rah. Dude is built like LeBron James, just shorter, but bulky. Seems to be extremely passionate about football. Would be an interesting name, something to watch. I'm not sure where things stand. Obviously, not being on Twitter and not talking to certain people, it's kind of put me in a position where I don't really have any information on anything at this point. But I guess I could send a couple texts, but I'm trying to stay out of that. But so we'll see. It's so early in the process, right? Like Jonathan Gannon, I think interviews today or tomorrow. I know Shane Steichen interviews today. Ben Johnson was in yesterday. He had his interview with the Houston Texans. So it's going to be a fluid process. It's going to take some time. And we won't know for the next 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion, unless somebody just hits it out of the park. Like Ben Johnson is their guy. He should go get him and just make it happen. He's not in the playoffs, so he can hire Ben Johnson pretty soon. There's no reason to wait for anything. But that's really about it. Nothing else is going on. It's playoff weekend. I don't know if you guys know or not, but Andre Johnson is opening a bar on Washington. If you guys go on Instagram and follow Andre Johnson, you'll see that there's a promo if you want to go go to the bar this weekend and watch the wild card games. You DM the bar and you can have a private party. Pretty cool. But yeah, nothing else really going on. It's going to be a good weekend of football. Jags, Chargers. That's going to be an interesting game. Let's see what happens with the Jags. Let's see if they really got things right. Obviously, it's only year one, so there's still some opportunities for things to change. But, it'd be the most Texans thing if we hired Pep. I've not seen that anywhere. I haven't even heard anything like that. It'd be impossible for that to happen, given what we just saw from that offense. If you hire Pep as the head coach and you're getting these new uniforms and all these other things, dude, you're just wasting money at that point. I hope to God that doesn't happen. TJ, Thomas, kind of random one to me, but looking into it, I like the research the team's doing. Still Ben Johnson, then DAmico, then Shane. Yeah, I think those. I'm not the DAmico thing for me. I like I said, I've said it on Twitter. I'm not an emotional hiring guy. So when it comes to DAmico, I get the story, I get the dialogue, I get everything that comes along with DAmico coming back to Houston and, the lawsuit, and now he's over it and we're working together. And, that shit really doesn't move me. At the end of the day, I just don't really give a shit who it is. I don't. I just want a winning franchise. That's it. Win football games. Be competent. Be innovative. Do things that you've never done before. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the type of shit I'm looking for them to do. So if that's DAmico Ryans, great. I want offense more than I want defense. And there's just something I think DAmico probably is a great coach. He was a captain for a long time. Arian Foster talked a lot about him the other day on a podcast. DAmico definitely has the resume so far to be in the spot. I don't know if that's the right guy. It's also it's really hard because we look at Robert Saleh and we're like, oh man, look at the success he's had in New York. And I was one of those people that was, there's so much talent on San Francisco's defense. Are we sure that this guy can, be a head coach and really win? And, that was the biggest, reservation I had about Saleh. And it looks like it's working, right? If they had a quarterback, they would have been in the playoffs this year. But it's the same situation with DAmico. Been in DC for 2 years, and his defense has so much talent at every level. I mean, every level there is talent on that defense, and that just brings the question: if he's not going to have that talent here, and I get it, and he's not going to probably be the defensive coordinator, so it really doesn't matter. But I just don't know if that's going to translate to a head coach, and that's my only reservation. DAmico was my favorite linebacker, as he is, I'm sure, for a lot of people. I don't get into the emotional side of things where it comes to this is going to be a great story. We're going to be able to, that stuff really doesn't do anything for me. I really just want this to turn into wins. That's all that matters. So yeah, trying to think of anything else. Not much. There's nothing else new that's going on. There's been no other candidates. Like I said, Shane Steichen is going to be in for an interview today. Ben Johnson completed his first interview yesterday. Hopefully we'll hear some news about a potential second interview with Ben Johnson sometime this week. Outside of that, there's nothing else unless you guys have questions. I'm going to let you guys get to your day, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys Monday morning. And yeah, I think that's about it. So make sure you guys subscribe, YouTube. These videos are going to come daily. We're going to start doing a lot of things different. There's going to be, editing and clips, and I'm going to have a whole new setup that's very fitting for what we're trying to do. And we're really going to push this thing forward. So make sure you guys tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Texans Unfiltered YouTube. You guys can find us. I put up the pod yesterday for yesterday's episode. I'll do the same thing today. But yeah, absolutely. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Hit the Texans Unfiltered Discord, which I'm back in. By the way, I haven't been in that Discord in 2 years. I forgot that there are so many people in that Discord. So great thing there. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. I'll eventually be back, most likely. But right now is just not a good time. And you can follow us on Facebook, hit the likes button, follow us on Instagram at Houston FB Pod. Yeah. And outside of that, that's going to be a wrap. I'm YoungAriGold signing off for Texans Unfiltered. We'll catch you guys Monday morning.